Okay, so today I am going to talk about a little bit how I came to accept God into my life. Um, I always like to look at the videos that people have about this because it's super interesting, but I decided to do my testimony today. Basically, how it all happened was that I lived in California since I was young, up to 13 years old, and then they called my dad to be a pastor, my parents, and they sent them here to Atlanta, Georgia. And then at that time, I was 13 years old. And then from there, I basically left my friends and family in California. Therefore, I was left on my own, kind of. I was like left like in a very lonely state, and in that loneliness that I went through, I was able to like find God. I feel like before before moving to Georgia, I was full of so much noise around me that I couldn't really see God. And when I was brought here, there was like a silence in which I was able to like see God and get closer to him, and that's where I found music too. That's where I my passion for music began as well. But basically, I just drew closer to God instead of like relying on friends. I just relied on my music and talking to God, and that's where my relationship grew with him. But growing as a pastor's kid, I I know I in my situation, I feel like my parents always left me with the choice of making my own decision of choosing God. And through their example of how they live their life is how I made my decision of choosing God. And I saw how they looked for God, and how not only they looked for God, but they helped some of the scariest and worst people get close to God. And that just made me want to follow that path too. And um, anyways, when I came to Georgia, that's where I got closer to God. And I was around 13 years old. And so as I was, going through life, 13 years old, 14, 15, um, I just found myself falling deeper in love with God, and falling deeper in love with music. And I would find myself singing and praising him at 12 midnight so much that my sister would get mad at me, and she would throw a shoe, because our rooms were connected. She would throw shoes across the her room, um, towards the closet, and she'd be like, "Shut up!" Because she was like over me playing. So, as my relationship grew with God, you know, that's how I started loving music more. And I learned guitar and piano, the basics, anyways. And once I learned the basics of guitar, like I started right there and then I started songwriting, and um, I really didn't show any of my songs to anyone when I first started. That was around 15 years old. I was 15 years old. But I just kept writing and writing. I wrote so many songs, and there came a moment where I was like, I felt in my heart to just show the songs that I wrote. And so I showed them to my parents, and my parents really loved it. So that's kind of like where I started showing my songs to my parents. And after I showed them to my parents, I was more open to showing it to other people. And that's kind of how I started my whole like music journey. And I had my road bumps along the way. It wasn't the most perfect story, but I learned from every situation I went through, and everything that I went through, I don't have any regrets. Well, anyways, fast forward to when I turned 17 around, um, I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis, and that's where the hard part came in my life. I I just fell into like a deep depression, and um, it was because of that, because of the fact that the pain I had to go through, because it's arthritis all over my body. I had to just, um, deal with that at 17 years old, and that's something that, like, as a 17-year-old, you don't expect to go through, you don't expect to have, and so that was just something very difficult for me, and even to this day, it's hard for me, but I think that I've learned to push through it, and I actually thank God for that, because it has made me a stronger person. I am now 26 years old, and I I've had it for almost 10 years. It'll be next year. Hopefully not. I'm patiently waiting for God to heal me, and I know people have their contradictory things about that, but I do believe in God healing, and um, I will believe till the day I die that He heals. So yeah, like as I went along with uh, this illness, it was very hard, and I went through a depression stage, and it was very hard for me. Um, and I didn't talk about it to anyone. And really, how my mom found out was one time I went to the doctor, and I broke down with the doctor, and the doctor told my mom I was going through a deep depression, and it was really hard, because I just had to fight through it. And being a pastor's kid, eyes are always on you, and there it can be a lot of pressure, but I was slowly but surely being getting God was making me a stronger person, and um, now I can say that I am way stronger. I know that there's so many other things that I have to maybe go through, and that God has planned for me, but I can say that I'm even more determined, and I'm even more appreciative of life. Like, I I just live every day like it's my last, because I don't know, I know rheumatoid arthritis is not like an illness that will take you out tomorrow, but it's there's a lot of factors with that, with arthritis, and there's a lot of things that can destroy your organs and destroy your body, the whole process, the medicines and stuff. But I'm still standing strong, and one of the things that has helped me is just going to His presence and saying and being sincere with God, like telling Him how I really feel about the situation, and just telling Him that I need Him and that I can't without Him. And so that has just made me a stronger person. And um, there's something that I feel inside of me that tells me that even though I'm going through this illness, like, God is still a good God, and God still loves me. And that's just something you can't explain with science or with facts or with results. It's just something that you feel, and I feel that, and I know that I have a real God, and I know that He is a good God, and I know that He loves me, and I know that He doesn't want sick.
Okay, so for some reason it cut off on my phone again. And I want to apologize to my subscribers, because I still need to get a better camera. So that's why when I do videos, I got to do like parts because of the memory issue. It's probably an easy thing to solve for some people, but for me, it's super complicated. I really need like a person to manage my my videos, because it's really hard. But anyways, yeah, as I was saying, dealing with arthritis is not something easy, but I've gotten through it, and God has made me a stronger person. And I know day by day God is teaching me something new, and I'm trusting Him, through it. And I've become more aggressive at life, at achieving things. I've become someone that doesn't pay attention to the insignificant things, like doesn't frustrate herself, because I used to frustrate and get mad at things that weren't really significant and I thought that were. But when you are put in a position where you can leave this earth anytime, where you can maybe not see tomorrow, it really gets you thinking on what is really important. And that really helped me get my priorities straight. And it has just helped me grow up fast. So, yeah, like I'm grateful that I'm here, and I'm grateful that God has done something amazing in my life that I can't explain, and something where He's made something out of nothing. At 13 years old, that's when I feel like I genuinely gave my heart to God. I remember when I was about 8, I think I probably told my dad that I wanted to accept God because I had like a bad dream or something. I don't remember. But that was just like I was accepting God because I was scared because it was the dream, the nightmare. But my true acceptance to God was, when I was 13, and I still remember that I told God, here I am, do what you want with me. And that was the true moment that I gave Him everything of me. But I didn't know what was in front of me and what I was gonna go through. And it hasn't been easy, but like I said, it's made me a better person. And you can look at life at something like they always say, like the glass half full or the glass half empty. And I have chosen to look at life with the glass half full, because if you don't, you're just not gonna survive. You're not gonna live happy. And you just have to be grateful for what you're given. You have to be grateful for what you have, because if you don't, you're gonna live this life unsatisfied. You're gonna live this life not feeling happy. And you just have to live every day like it's your last, and appreciate those around you. And truly, going through the sickness of arthritis, it really has made me appreciate life more. It's made me worship God more freely and with everything I've got, and love Him more, and just do things that I'm like, I don't care what people think. Like, I've gotten to this point in my life where I'm like, I don't care what people think. I don't care if people make fun of me. I don't care if they think I look ridiculous. Like, I am who I am, and God created me as Patricia Gutierrez and how I am. And, exactly how I am is how He meant me to be. And, He had a purpose already written for me, and that's what I'm gonna do in life. And so, that's just how I hope many, see themselves. Like, you are who you are, and God has made out and wrote out a plan for you, and you just have to fit into that plan so you can feel happy, so you can feel fulfilled, because that is the only purpose that will make you happy and fulfilled. If you choose another path, like, you're never going to feel as fulfilled, because God has already written out something for your life, and He has a purpose for you, and His love is so great, So anyways, yeah, this video is just basically my testimony. I accepted God at 13. I learned music 13, 14, 15. At 15 years old is when I started playing music at church. The opportunity came where my dad, my pastor, my parents, they asked me to, join the music team. And, that's where it kind of started at music at 15 years old at church. And, just been practicing since 15 years old, been attending music practices every week almost. And just trying my best at what God has given me. And that's what you need to do every day. You just need to, what God gives you in life, every opportunity, every door, you just need to take advantage of it. And that's really what I did. And I'm very grateful for what God has given me. And you know, you don't do things perfect, but who's perfect? But as long as your heart is towards doing the right thing, is towards pleasing God, you're on the right path. But anyways, I know some of my subscribers are probably not Christian, but this is what it is. This is who I am. And if some people are atheists, if some people don't agree with what I say, that's fine. But this is me, and I just wanted to post it. So if you don't like what I'm saying or something, you can always unsubscribe, down there. Because if you guys haven't noticed, I'm a person that really, I'm not about having a million, 1,000, gazillion subscribers or followers. I'm not about that. I started actually this YouTube channel because my mom motivated me to do it, so I can put my music on here. She's the one that kind of motivated me to start this, and that's the reason I've started it. And but it's transformed into something where I can post my music that I write and just put my music out there, and it's just something that I really just want it to be for fun. And if people like it, then great, but if they don't, I know not everybody has the same taste or the same beliefs, so that's okay. But yeah, so I'm really easy to get off track. So anyways, back to what I was saying. I got into music 15 years old, and then 17 is when I got diagnosed with arthritis. And then yeah, it was really hard. I went through depression, but through God's help, I was able to just go through it. And I've just been on and off of different medications, and doctors have, been helping me with going through it. And I know many have the question of, when are you going to have kids? Maybe people that know me personally, they always ask me, when are you going to have kids? When are you going to have kids? Well, let me tell you the answer of why now I don't have kids. Because I know I used to say, oh, when I get my own house, I'll have kids. And I'm almost going to 2 years of having my own house, and I haven't had kids. Well, the reason me and my husband haven't had kids is because of that same reason, that the medications that I've been taking with arthritis are medications that are bad for the baby, are bad for having a baby, for having a fetus in me. So I'm just believing that God is going to heal me, and I know that He is taking care of everything. And I'm, working with my doctor, trying new medications, seeing if they work. But it's not an easy process. But I'm doing what I can, and I'm praying, and I'm hoping for God. But I know that God is going to give us children at the right time. But that's the answer anyways, if anybody's interested in knowing the answer of that. And it hasn't been easy for me when people ask me about children. I don't like to talk about it because of that fact, because it's not easy for me. But there you go. That's what it is. It bothers me a little bit, but I just need to get over it, because people are just going to ask and they're curious. So, but anyways, I'm just trusting God. So, but anyways, at 21 years old, is when I got married, to my now husband. We've been married 5 years now. I'm 26 years old. His name is Tony, and I don't know if I'm going to post this before or after the video I made with him. So if I'm talking like you guys still don't know about him, then I don't know if I'm going to post it before or after that video. But anyways, yeah, I really love that guy. He's awesome. And I don't regret getting married. He's an amazing guy. I just couldn't ask for anything better. And aside from that curly hair that he has, I love his curly hair. But he's just amazing, and I'm so thankful for his life. And even through this whole arthritis situation, he's been there. He's helped me. He's understanding, and he always just helped me through it, because I can't always by myself get through certain situations with arthritis issue. But yeah, here I am at 26 years old, and I'm still serving God, and I'm, doing music, what I love to do, and what God has prepared for me. And any door that God opens for me, I will go through it, because He's the one that has written my story, and I know that my story is not over. There's still many more years to come. I know that God has so much more for me and for my family and everything, and for you guys out there, whoever's listening, God has something great for you. You just have to look for it. You just have to put your heart out there for God to use you to unfold that plan that He has for you. So, yeah, I hope that this long video of my story kind of helps somebody. I know it's not very detailed, because it could be an hour video if I'm detailed, but it's kind of like a summary of my life. If you guys want to know anything more in more detail, just leave it in the comments below, and I'll be sure to maybe put it on the list of videos for me to do. So, yeah, talk to you guys later.